We are up here in beautiful northern Minnesota. We just finished our second year of horse camp with the kids from the Red Lake Indian Reservation up here in Minnesota. And it was an incredible time. You know, it's always kind of humbling to come up here and to see the kids and to see their hearts and understand what they've been through. And that's what I really appreciate about coming up here is sometimes I get to kind of talk with the kids on the side and kind of hear their stories, and it's just really neat to have that opportunity. But we got in Thursday night. Friday morning we wake up and we start videotaping almost immediately, and we're filming the kids coming to camp, we're filming the kids doing all their different stuff and riding horses and playing games, swimming in the lake, which is behind the camera right now, and just having a great time. And why we do this is the question I get. What's the purpose? Why are you doing this? What we do is we film these things and we create materials that then the ministries that are putting on these programs, they can use that to raise funding also. You know, if you were to bring in a video crew and do this kind of stuff, it would cost a ton of money. Understanding that these kids are coming in to hear the gospel and that we're trying to win souls for Jesus. And so I am very happy to be part of this. It's one of those things where I'm kind of humbled by it, because I sat there and watched the video at the end and I'm like, wow, look at what these kids have done. And, you know, in just 3 days. So it's Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, boom, we're running. We had a very rainy week this week. We actually ended up with a big, beautiful rainbow, which was behind me at one point. But it's just go, go, go. And then the other thing we did while we were up here this week was we had the opportunity to go over to Chief Cornerstone Church, which was originally, it was the baby of Pastor Maynard LaValle, who was the first person who ever brought us up here 4 years ago. He's the first Native guy that I ever talked to, and I called him up and I said, hey, you don't know me, I don't know you, but I want to come and document your testimony. And he said, all right, come on up. And he gave my family a place to stay and really took care of us. He introduced us to some other Native guys from different tribes. And he was really the reason that our ministry got to take off. When we came up here 4 years ago, he had a church property with absolutely nothing on it. It was just a cross, and that was it. And so, matter of fact, we had to drive through grass to get out to where the cross was. And so we drove out there and we spent some time, and you know, he told me his dreams and what he wanted to see. Last year I came up here and I was excited to see they finally had the building built. The shell was up of the church. This year I got here and no, it's no longer just the shell. It has drywall. It's almost ready to go. They finished all the electric on Friday. Actually, when I came up here, the electrician was still there, or on Thursday, I mean. And so we have gotten to see that ministry grow. Now, the sad part of the story is Pastor Maynard passed away last year. And he got to see the shell of his building up. And I think that was probably one of the greatest gifts he could have. And then what was really neat about the whole thing was we were able to have his funeral in the church building. And so part of what we've been doing is help document the work that they're doing to get that done, because that also requires a lot of finances. Poverty is a big problem here, so they don't have the money to help fund these things and these outreaches that are going on. So that's where the work, the ministry of helps that we operate in is able to come in and work. And so, you know, people are kind of always asking me, what is the point of the ministry? Well, the point of the ministry is just that. People are doing the work. If we can come alongside in any way and help support the work that they're doing, we don't have to go start a whole other ministry. We don't have to go in and till the earth and try to start something new. It's already there. So what we can do then is come in and build up those things that are here. So we have this group that comes in and does a horse camp with Native kids. And we're able to help support that ministry. We have another group over here that's building a church, and they have a plan to reach out into the community, and that is also something that's already started. So we don't need to come start another ministry. It's here. And so that is what is so important to me about the work that we're doing, is we are a ministry of helps. We're here to help. And so this week we got to go in and videotape the church, talk to some of the kids who will be part of the church, talk to people who are part of the board. We're also working on a project with this beautiful camp that we're at, where we're going to help them with a fundraising video and get some stuff together for them as well. And that's what we're here to do, is just simply help these ministries that are already existing and already doing the hard work so that they can do what they need to do. And so that is why we need support from people like you. It's because there's a lot of expenses that come on for these kinds of trips. And then we try to do it in a way that we don't charge anything. Now, some of the ministries are very kind and give us, a donation for coming up and helping, but we never ask for anything. And so that is because, and the reason why we don't ask for anything, it's not because I don't value the work we're doing, it's because we're here to help them. And I always figured, if that's what God called me to do, He'll provide the finances outside. Their finances come in from one way, my finances can come in from another way, and then we don't have to worry about anything kind of overlapping. I'm not coming to their people and saying, hey, can you support our ministry and all that. And that's what's been very important to me from day one, is trying not to be a burden in any way to the ministries we help, so that we can do what God has called us to do, and that is simply just to be a ministry of helps. Now, we have a second branch of our ministry that we do, and that is where we come up to the reservations. Matter of fact, our first trip was at this camp right here, where we document the testimonies of Christian Native Americans. And the reason why we do it that way is I keep myself out of the picture. If you've seen any of our videos, I'm not in them. The reason why we do it that way is because Native people have an ability to share their story in a way that other Native people will understand it. And to be very blatantly honest, they're so hurt by the past that if I were to come in and start preaching, I'm just another white guy coming in preaching. And so part of the thing is to know my place and to understand what works. So what we have done from day one is come in with the agenda of hearing the stories of Christian Native Americans and giving them a platform to share their testimony with other Native Americans across the country, across North America, and even tribal people around the world. And so that's been what's very important about the work we're doing, is we are working in a ministry of evangelism. It's just not the traditional evangelism that you're used to seeing. We come in and we evangelize by giving a voice to those who have already lived through things and have had encounters with God, have had encounters with the Holy Spirit, have had encounters with Jesus Christ, and they want to share their testimony, and they never had the opportunity to do it at this level. And so that's what we're able to do, is come in and do those things. So we have two ministries within Forthright Ministries, or Forthright Films. It is our ministry of helps, and then it's our ministry of evangelism that we do. And again, our evangelism doesn't look like probably what you've ever seen. We're not setting up a huge tent in this field behind me. We're not going door to door. We're not praying for people on the streets, although we do all of that at times. What we are doing is giving a voice to people and allowing them to share their testimonies so that other people can hear the good news of Jesus Christ. That's why we call our stories the stories of hope, because they are stories of hope, and they are the ability for people to understand that people just like them, right, maybe from a different tribe or a different community, have had encounters with God and said, wow, this is different than anything I've ever had. And through that, our hope and our expectation is that many will be saved. And so that is the work we're doing. And again, a lot of people don't understand that evangelism doesn't necessarily, especially with the technology we have these days, it doesn't look like what we're used to of big tent meetings and things like that. It now can, it doesn't always, but it can look like what you're looking at right now. Some guy talking on a cell phone camera and being able to share the gospel with people all over the world. And so that is our hope. And we focus on the testimonies. The book of Revelation says they overcame Satan by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. The testimony is powerful, and that is what we're doing, is documenting these testimonies so that some might be saved, as Paul said. And that is what we're trying to do, is just give a way for people to hear the gospel from people who look and sound like themselves. And sometimes that's what we need, is we just need people that we can relate to, who share a story, and we go, okay, I get the guy's using the same language as me. The guy has been through experiences that I've been through. He comes from somewhat of the same background, and now I can understand what he's saying. So that's what we're here doing. That's what we do at beautiful places like this. I am going to put some video at the end of this that you can see all the work we did over the last couple of days. But it's just, It is an incredible honor to be up here, and we're so thankful to be back up here at Camp Dellwater. I hope that this brings some understanding to the ministry that we're doing, because it is very different from what most people understand to be ministry. So thank you for taking time to watch this video. Make sure you stick around and watch what's coming up after this, and then you'll see some of the work that we're doing. You can also check out our videos from the horse camp. We've already uploaded one on our YouTube channel at Forthright Films, and you can kind of see what's going on. So thank you again for watching. If you'd like to support the work we're doing, you can do that at forthrightministries.com or forthrightfilms.org, and you can go into those and you can kind of see how, if you'd like to help support the work that we're doing. Look, here's the deal. There's over 120 Native communities and reservations throughout the United States. That doesn't include Canada. That doesn't really get into Alaska. That is just in continental United States. And so we have a lot of places we can go. What holds us back at this point is finances. And I know that's the craziest thing, but finances. We have the doors open, and we have many, many more places to go. But we need people like you who go, okay, we need to do this work. The one thing that's been incredible to me since day one is understanding that Billy Graham once said that the Native Americans were a sleeping giant, that we're coming into a time of revival. And I believe that the time has started now. As we go around and see these different tribes and see what's happening, it's very clear that revival has already begun. And so that's part of the work that we're doing, is being able to be part of that. We're kind of documenting the revival as it goes, which is not something I ever expected to be part of, but we've actually been doing that as well. And so there's all this stuff that we're doing and all this stuff that we're part of, and it's actually part of a much larger plan. So you can help support that. And what's great, there's a loon. I love the loons up here. They're beautiful. You can help be part of the work that we're doing. You know, what's great about it, when you sow a seed into a ministry, you're now part of the work that happens. So if you want to be part of that, again, just go over to our website, forthrightfilms.org or forthrightministries.com, and you can learn more about doing that. So again, thank you so much for watching, and I pray that in some way this blesses you and you're able to understand more about the work that we're doing. So thank you, and be blessed.